So today we will discuss about how to get a certification for an organic farm in the state of Washington. So as you know, Northwest Share obtained a land in Snohomish County in Arlington. So basically there are many things that we need to develop from a documentation perspective. One of them is the livestock flow chart that we need to provide. Historically, if you look at the standard template, they say calves are born on the farm. They are raised in hutches, which are like small huts for 12 weeks. Then on the pasture, they are allowed to roam and eat the grass for 12 weeks. And then they are sent to slaughterhouse. Means the animals are killed. So this is the standard template. I didn't make this up. And the steers means male cows are sent to the slaughterhouse. The female cows are bred for an additional 18 months. And then they are impregnated, which means they'll start producing babies. And once they start producing babies, they will start giving milk. And then they generate milk from them. With regards to chicken, again, they receive from the hatchery. They breed for 3 weeks. They move to pens. Chicken are in pens, they are say, or coops. And then after 8 weeks, they're slaughtered. Again, they're killed. So that is the sinful activity that the current farms do. So our farm is different. We move them from a different farm. They are moved into milking rotation. Then calves are born on the farm. Calves drink milk from the mother. Steers breed separately for 6 months. Bred separately. Steers means the male cows, bulls as they are called. And the heifers, which are female cows, are bred separately after 6 months. And then they're put into cow milking rotation. So that is the very first form for the farm to obtain organic certification. The second talks about the origin of the cows. So when we talk about the origin of the cows, we need to give indication as to where we are obtaining these cows from. So we buy like 4 to 6 month old cows from a company called Maishan Dairy in Everson, which is near the Canadian border. So that needs to be documented here. So there are some questions around, have the animals been under continuous organic management? Obviously today we are not, but going forward we will. So you'll see not applicable. We will not raise chickens. So that will be NA. Because the whole organic management in America is based around raising animals to kill them, which is exactly opposite to what we are going to do. We are going to save animals, protect them. So there are some questions. If we have non-organic stock, so that will be not applicable. And how do you keep organic and non-organic animals separate? That will be non-applicable for us, right? What kind of animal identification we use. So we won't brand them. Brand means taking a hot iron rod with a number on it and putting it onto animal skin. So animal will cry because its skin is getting burnt. We won't use any of those violent methods. What we'll do is use a rope and hang around the neck. Are you currently transitioning a herd from non-organic to organic management? Yes, and we'll start the transition on December 1st. And other questions, are the animals intended for slaughter? NA, no purchased animals, and we are not going to do any slaughter. No slaughter of the animals. That's the second form. Then we come to the third form, which is the living conditions of these animals. So basically they're asking where we are going to put these animals, right? Standard answers are hutch or a hut. We are saying birth to 6 months, we'll put them in the barn and free range. We have some sizes of the indoor space. Then from 6 months to rest of the life, we'll put in barn and free range for 12 animals in an indoor space. Then we'll have 2 steers, we'll keep them. These are bulls, basically, young bulls. Birth to 6 months, we'll put them in the barn and free range. And then oxen, again, we'll put them in the barn and free range, but in a larger space. We have a second barn. So they want to know all this information so that they can determine to give us organic certification or not, how well we are treating animals. So one of the strange things about US is they want us to treat the animals with utmost care and then finally kill them, slaughterhouse. So they don't want the animals to be ill-treated, but they don't think killing is ill-treating. That is how strange the rules are. So then we have indications where we are putting them in confinement, like from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. we'll put them in the barn or covered sheds. So that's the kind of information we note here. And what are the sheds? We have 40 by 80 and 45 by 60. And indicate the conditions addressed by the shelter. We are maintaining them naturally. There is ventilation, exercise, and air circulation. There is no bedding. Therefore, there's nothing here. We'll put as NA. Then do we provide access to supplemental yards or feedlots? The answer is no. Do we finish slaughter stock? We don't slaughter, therefore, we are not going to finish them. Finish means there's a preparation for slaughter. They feed less. They feed less before killing these animals. And then is there a conservation plan? Yes, so we have a nutrient management plan. And then we will compost the cow waste, the cow poop on concrete slabs, and we'll use that as a fertilizer. And we are giving some dimensions for the slab dimension. Then here are the practices that the manure doesn't put the soil, surface water, or groundwater at risk. So Sheshdev, can you read this, please?
A box scraper, skid loader, or tractor and loader will be used to remove manure built up on the surface of stalls, barns, corrals, barnyards, areas. To minimize potential for surface and groundwater contamination, storage structures are located at least 150 feet from an uphill well, 500 feet from other wells, and 50 feet from manure, from the manure production collection area. Gravity settling basins to remove the waste solids before moving to a compost slab. Manure and bedding mixed will transform into compost in 6 to 30 weeks. Concrete ridge at composting, poured concrete slab and 4 feet high walls with cinder blocks on 3 sides. Dry stack with a vegetated filter strip 3 feet wide to treat the runoff water coming from a manure pile. Packaged gravel and stone dust at the edge. Composting at 141 degrees Fahrenheit with several dry stack bays connected side by side. Direct the drainage over the vegetated area. Regularly harvest the vegetation as hay or silage to prevent buildup of nutrients. Cover the manure with a tarp after loading manure to prevent odors, annoying flies, and leaching. Once composted, we'll put composted manure in the field. Spread the manure about 4 weeks before a grazing cycle. We will keep the manure as dry as possible and remove manure from the farm regularly during fly breeding season.
Yeah, so what is your understanding of what we are trying to do?
Making manure from grass and vegetation, so whatever green wastage that we have, we'll put it in a compost pit and at a certain degrees, we'll artificially try and get that to that temperature with dry stack base.
Yeah, it is not artificial. Basically, when you create a compost pile, and if you properly have a compost pile with cow dung, vegetable waste, and other ingredients, the internal temperature will generate to 141 degrees
Oh,
Fahrenheit. So we are not heating it. There is natural heat in that because of the anaerobic reaction that is happening. Okay. Yeah, continue.
tiny non-stinging wasps and parasites are beneficial to the pile. When we clean out the storage, we leave a couple of inches of dry manure over the bottom of the storage to provide a population of fly parasites and predators. Manure removal can be staggered to leave one section per week to supply 5 predators and parasites.
Very nice. That's it. That's
Is it similar to the process that we have in this farm, Prabhuji, that Rivilas Maharaj maintains in the Redmond farm? I think there's a compost pit there also.
Yeah. These processes are pretty common across the country. We just have to document them to get the permits. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Nothing that I'm saying here is anything new. Americans have been doing it for 100, 150 years. So according to this application form, we need to describe the type of vegetation on the pasture. So they want to know what are the cows eating so that we can produce quality milk, right? So the government would like to know before it gives organic farm certification. So there is grass, red clover, white clover, dandelion, like that. And the grazing season, so we employ a stockpiling technique, conserving the cool season forages in late summer for use in fall and winter. So cool season means from September onwards, actually from August onwards, you conserve those forage. Forage means any grass that is on the ground. And once you cut it and wrap it in plastic bags, it's called silage, silage. So forage becomes silage. Then you have hay that is cut. And when you preserve the hay in plastic bags, that's called haylage, Haylage, haylage. So we have 3 grazing seasons totaling 150 days. Early summer, 60 days, fall, 60 days, and spring is 30 days. So we are saying this is the grazing season that we have. Of course, in winter, everything is dark and damp, and so cows will have to be fed inside the sheds with silage. And silage can come from corn or wheat. So the good quality corn goes for human consumption. So not so good quality, what they do is they just cut it right on the farm and then wrap it up in plastic bags. So lactic acid is generated. So the little bit of sourness comes in the grass and the corn plants, which the cows like. Just like we make sambar, we put tamarind in it to make it sour so that we can eat it. Same thing. This is like the sambar for the cows. So basically, we'll section off 2-acre paddocks for 5 days across 12 paddocks. We do rotational grazing using metal stakes with fencing on each of the 4-acre parcels. So we have 12 fours, 48 acres there total. And then we'll put electric fence around the property. So we buy hay in terms of bales. So grass hay bales, so 2.7 bales per cow per month throughout the year. So cows eat a lot of grass. Of course, they give you valuable milk, which no other thing on the planet can do, eating grass and giving valuable milk. So there is something called dry matter demand. Means water is wet, but anything other than water, solids that the cow eats, is called dry matter. So there is a table. So I looked at the table and then put in calves, heifers, steers, and oxen. So dry matter demand. And then how much comes from the pasture and how much comes from the feed that we give in bins for the cows, we have to say. So I'm saying we'll give 50% from the pasture. Pasture means the green grassland. So what are our techniques? We are saying rotational grazing is one technique so that the nutrition is not totally lost. If the cows eat on the same place, they'll eat up to the roots and then the plants will not grow again. The grass will not grow again and that area will become barren. So we will never let the area become barren. That's the idea. So once a year, we fertilize the land with composted cow dung using a compost spreader. And that's the end of that document. We are making good progress. Then the concept of feed rations. Ration means every cow will get certain quantity. They will not get to eat too much. They will not be allowed to waste anything. So they'll be given just adequate quantity so that they finish everything off for that day. That is called the ration. In India, the concept of ration shop, right? So this is the concept of a feed ration. So there are two tables here. One is for the grazing season. The other is for the non-grazing season. So technically, whatever we are doing for the grazing season also applies for the non-grazing season. So the table is exactly the same: grass, pasture, hay, and others. And then amount of feed, how many pounds of grain, pasture grass, hay means dried grass, and other ingredients. So we are saying like for these 12 cows, we'll have 4 pounds per day. This will be changed. This is not 4 pounds. It'll probably be 0.5, 0.75, because only 2 steers here. So we'll have this as 0.5, 0.75. And 0.75 for other matter that will feed the cow. And in order to get an organic farm, you need to have the feed as organic. Otherwise, it will not qualify for an organic farm. Okay. So is all feed certified organic? Yes, which means what we are buying should also be organic. So that is the feed rations concept. Then healthcare. Although they will kill all these cows, they want the cows to be healthy till they are killed for meat, right? Which is good and bad. On the one hand, you are saying, oh, I have to take care of my cow. Like I was talking to one farmer, they said, oh, these cows are like my babies. Then I said, then why do you kill them? Oh, yeah, people need food, so we can kill. So which means people are allowed to kill their babies for food. Very strange concept, right? That is very, very bad. So we will select good species, feed ration, appropriate housing. So we will do all these things to ensure good health. Are animals subject to physical alterations? I'm saying no. Physical alteration means in some cases, they will cut off the horns for the cows. They will cut off the hoofs and the legs. They'll do all kinds of things just to make the animal safe. But then the animal goes through a lot of pain. So our plan is not to do anything like that. So what happens if animal was treated with prohibited material? Means instead of giving organic grass, if you give non-organic grass, they are saying, how will you prevent it from coming to the market? They think of cow as like a product, right? A product that is to be sold on a market, killed for its meat. That's the language they use. So we are saying we'll just quarantine it till natural death. We will not really send it to the market. So other thing we can say is, are animals will never be sold on the market. So it's not an accident to take care of cows. You have to have a lot of this paperwork and you have to get approvals before you can raise cows. So list the annual average percent of culled stock. The concept of culled means if some animal is not very healthy or it is limping, they will cull it, which means they'll take it out of the herd and kill it. So we are saying 0% will be killed. And then some animals fly naturally, like US average is about 3.5%, right? We already had over the last 10 years, 2 of our cows died, which is natural. Sickness, old age. So that's the form on health. Next one is what are the products that come out of cow, right? So we think milk is a product, but they think meat is a product. So do you use retail labels? No. Do you sell organic labors? No. Organic animals? No. Do you currently produce organic milk? Or yes, we plan to produce milk, but do you process it into cheese or yogurt? No. So we have a potable water rinse, residual testing strips, and final rinse step to keep the animals always clean. And how do we produce somatic cell count? So somatic cell count is a technique, and the somatic cell count should be less than 100,000 for the milk to be deemed valuable. Correct, right? Anything more than that, the milk is not grade A, then it becomes grade B, grade C for organic purposes. So there are a lot of no's because we are not going to produce egg, we are not going to kill animals. Do you raise organic livestock? No. How is the livestock sold? We let our cows die naturally on the farm. And they're asking for slaughter facilities. If they are going to be butchered, and we are saying no, not applicable. So that is the other form. And then there is the record keeping doc. So how often do we maintain records? Right? So we'll maintain records of outside access, number of days and hours, all purchased animals, records of animals at slaughter. I'm saying no because we won't slaughter. Sales record, we won't sell, so no. Then we have synthetic medications, natural remedies, vitamins, minerals, and other materials, receipts for purchased products, records that are treated or transition animals, like that. So those are the records that we maintain. So that is it. I mean, that is how we can obtain organic certification. By filling these forms and maintaining records, you'll be able to start an organic farm. So any questions?
It's pretty detailed, Prabhu. Your research is very detailed.
Yeah, because it's no longer research, right? This is practical. Now we have to make it happen. So this is for the farm that you and Girish Prabhu saw. With
Is that still in the auction?
That's in no, not the other one. Like we the one that we already bought. You came one day,
Okay,
the soil inspector.
Yes.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah.
That's the one.
So did the soil test results came out, right?
Yeah, soil test was good.
Yep.
So here is the soil test results. So he didn't think that the soil was bad. Everything seems to be normal. Phosphorus, potassium, boron, like that.
That's good news then.
Yeah, that's good news.
Even
I mean, in
yeah.
general, state of Washington is very fertile. There's nothing wrong with the land here. And then he also gave this, actually, Anisha is very lucky because she's learning all this at a young age. There's the grazing. You remember we walked here. We went like this, we turned around the building, and then we went back to this pond. But all this is our
Yes.
land. We have all this land for our farm project. And let me see if I still have that. This is a very beautiful website. This, you can use it even for your backyard crops. So if you want to know where you can raise cattle, click on cattle, it will tell you all over the state. But if you say where I can grow peaches, it will be all over the state. Where I can grow wheat, it's not all over the state. You see the western part, you cannot grow wheat here. So there's a lot of research people have done and they have put in. It's called washingtongrown.com. So that is the rotational grazing schedule that they gave for us. And there are some prescribed grazing practices. So they say for wheat control, do this. For ungrazed forage, forage means the grass that is on the ground. Once you cut it, it becomes hay. Once you ferment it, it becomes haylage or silage. And if it comes from the corn plant, it's called silage. And wheat, it's called wheat silage. So he gave dominant soil is called sultan silt loam. It's a loam. And key species that can grow there are fescue, rye, just like some people make chapati with rye, and then orchard grass. And then you see percentage of feed supplied by pasture. December is the lowest, only 7%. You cannot take more than 7%. So I can technically take this and put in that other Word document where we talked about pasture, right? We said 50%, but it's not true, right? We just learned that it cannot be true. See table below. They don't even let us edit this table. So we can say insert rows above, split table. Oh, very split table. Anybody know how to split table? Okay. So what we are saying is percentage of feed supplied by pasture per month, 44.2277. Again, it goes to April, May, June. It goes above 100%. And then it comes down gradually. So all this is very important to know and to request them. Which also means that our feed rations will have to change. Can anybody tell me why? You see this feed rations grazing season should be lower, and non-grazing season, when they are not eating grass outside, they should be higher. Okay, any other questions?